What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Chris, and today I'm back with another video here. Unfortunately, this is probably the worst game of the season for the Flyers. They lose 7-4 to the Anaheim Ducks at home. They are now really, really bad in afternoon starts. They've played 2 of them. They've given up 12 goals in those 2 games. Really flat game from the Flyers in this one. I know a lot of people are going to blame Sam Ersson. It's very hard for me to blame Ersson in this game. I mean, they let him out to dry. And again, I'm getting, clowned on Twitter for this, but look, I can't really sit there and blame Ersson when it's turnovers, it's 2-on-1s, yeah, sure, he didn't make a big save, hasn't really played a lot. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna sit here and say Ersson's this horrible goaltender now and all this stuff. It's ridiculous. He's played 2 games. I actually thought he was really good in Dallas after the slow start. It was just a tough one, and you know what he's gonna say. I need to be better and everything else. Torts is gonna defend him, which is fine. I'm not saying that's a problem. I'm just saying that that's what's gonna happen. So look, I mean, I just wanted to get that out of the way because it's very hard for me to sit here and say, oh, well, this is all on Ersson. No. It was 2 meatball turnovers on the power play goals. It was a 2-on-1 in the other one. The other one, the third one, I don't even know how that's even still a goal, to be honest. The fourth one's a scramble in front. No one picks up Henrique. The first one was the same thing. No one picked up Strome. And it was a failed exit for Anaheim. It's just little things. They were just sloppy. And it led to that. I mean, everybody was sloppy today. It's not pinpointed on one guy or anything. It's just so hard for me to just sit there and say, oh, well, this is all on Ersson. Yeah, sure, he didn't make a big save, but the Flyers didn't make any big plays in this game. You know what I mean? It's not they made any plays to... I mean, everything they did was down 2 goals or more. It's not you know what I mean? So, I don't know. I mean, it's tough to say. So, anyway, as for this one in the lines, I have a separate video coming out in a little bit. And if you watch this one first and then the other one or vice versa, then you'll understand what I'm talking about. So the lines in this one: Tippett, Couturier, Atkinson, Konechny, Lawton, Forrester, Farabee, Cates, Brink, Delorier, Paling, and Hathaway. York and Sanheim, Zamula and Walker, Sealer, Belpedio, Sam Ersson. And in that same lineup as last game, only difference was Ersson in net. As I mentioned, Strome scores 1-0. Konechny had a quick shot after that. It was just a tough play on the first goal. I mean, it goes from, it looks like a pretty simple, safe exit from Sanheim. He fans on it. Ducks go the other way. McTavish fans on it. He had a lot of time. Flyers kind of overcommitted because he fanned on it, because the puck just stopped moving at the same pace of the play, and they ended up coming down and passed over to Strome. Slam dunk, 1-0 Ducks. Tough one. Delorier and Johnson, they drop them. It was a nice tilt. Really sloppy start. It felt like the last game against Minnesota, the Flyers had a lot of plays deep in the zone where they could create a lot of chances, and the Wild also had a really bad start, so that was probably part of it. But the Flyers caused that on their own, and the Ducks were really good off the hop. Normally when one of the things I noticed was the first play of the game, the Ducks immediately were attacking offense. As soon as the puck was in the Flyers' end, it wasn't all right, let's chip this in and kind of get the forecheck going. They were right away, and it was just like that all game. Paling with a delay game penalty, who I haven't really noticed, honestly. Paling, I haven't really noticed. The fourth line I think has been fine, but again, I don't think they've been as noticeable as they were before, I guess I should say. I didn't think it was a bad penalty kill up until the goal. The Flyers had a lot of plays where they kind of kept everything to the outside. I thought Ersson made a couple good saves. Vatrano makes it 2-0 off a turnover, and you're like, okay, it's 2-0 now. So again, the Flyers had some early pressure into the second period. They get a power play. Forrester passes up a shot. You have to shoot that. Cates had a chance in tight. 3-0. Again, I have no idea how that's a goal. I mean, I get it. That could have been the puck, and it probably was. Let's be honest. That probably was the puck, but you still have no, conclusive evidence. You have the one angle where it could be the puck. I honestly at first thought it was a skate. But I mean, it's a tough call. I think there might be something different on that because, again, you can't push the pad, right? So that's the one thing. Henrique scores 4-0. It was just like a horrible defensive play, and again, he's wide open. I mean, he's literally left there wide open with nobody on him. I'm like, I just don't understand how people like say this. I'm like, oh, Larson's horrible. Like, yeah, when you give up 7 goals on a little amount of shots, you're like, oh yeah, well the goalie sucks. Well, like, yeah, I mean that's kind of it's just like. It's just such an easy thing to say. It's like, oh, well, it's the goalie. Like, there's more than that to me. Atkinson scores 4-1. It was a nice pass by Tippett. Konechny scores 4-2. Flyers are back in this one. Then they get a power play. You're like, all right, 6 minutes left in the second period. You're doing the math in your head. You're like, all right, power play here. We score here. This game's close. They do nothing with it. Ducks get a power play early in the third. 5-2. Ziegler scores off of a turnover from Konechny. Then it's 6-3. Konechny would score in tight. Cates draws a penalty. Flyers shorthanded, give up one on a breakaway from Vertrano, who has a hat trick, and then Farabee gets a snipe late. Like, it was such a sloppy game. And really it sucks because when you look at the past couple of games, it's like, okay, well, Edmonton, that was a good game. You know, you go into Dallas and you have a really good game, even though you end up losing. You battled with Vegas until the last 30 seconds when they ended up scoring that one. You know, you had some really good games, and then obviously the blowout with the Wild on Thursday. So some really good games. I mean, this has been a good month for this team. I mean, obviously the 2 1 o'clock games and the early starts have been brutal, for sure. And that can't keep happening because the Flyers, every year they have their fair share amount of afternoon games and everything else, considering, you know, they share a home building and everything else. So, you know, they're going to have a lot of afternoon games throughout the year. I think there's a couple, like, earlier starts. I think there's a few, like, 5:30, 6 o'clocks. I think there's a few 3s, and then you have, obviously, the 1 o'clocks, too. So it's all going to interchange, and, you know, they just had some really bad starts in the afternoon games. I don't know if that's a coincidence. You know, the other one was the second game of the season. It's hard. It's early on still. I mean, you're still in October, so we'll kind of see how that goes on throughout the year. I mean, they could win a lot of the afternoon games coming up. We don't really know, but it's just, as of right now, that's the only information we got on that. So, you know, unfortunately, that kind of is what it is. I think Erson's going to be fine. I have no problem with, you know, what him or Torch said after the game. I think it's completely fair. My opinion, I don't think all of it was on him. It was a very sloppy game, I thought, from the beginning. So, yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting. I mean, again, it's just one of those ones you got to tuck away, put it in your back pocket, kind of forget that it happened, throw it out, you know, look it over, look at the tape, and then, you know, move on to Monday. I mean, you got Carolina, and then you got a home-and-home against Buffalo, the Kings. It should be a pretty good stretch of some games coming up. So we'll see. It'll be interesting. Thanks, everybody, again, for all the support, as always. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe if you enjoyed watching this video. My name is Chris, and I'll talk to you all again soon.